Hi everyone. So I have a new product for you to take part in. This is for J Armor wallets. Now you can get these wallets for a pretty good price. Partially, it seems at this point, partially American made, but they're going to be planning to be completely American made by the year 2027. The fun part is that you can actually see what new wallet styles are going to be coming in 2026. So a little bit about the company. The company was founded by Jake Hernandez, who is also a part of the U.S. Air Force veteran, or he is a U.S. Air Force veteran. So with his business, he is also supporting charities like anti-child labor organizations, veteran support programs, and efforts to rebuild American manufacturing. So this is clearly something that is very important to him, and honestly, really important to me as well. And going to the link in the show notes, which I will say what that link is in a minute, but going to the link in the show notes not only helps support this podcast, but is also helping to support J Armor as well as helping support the charities that he finds near and dear to him. So if you go to the show notes and you find that link, the link is jarmorwallets.com/reality times 2. So that is j-realiteatimestwo. So I hope you go on and support not only me, but as well as this company. Now, that's enough of me. Let's go back to the episode. Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man of 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/reality times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/reality times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. This episode is ad-free on the Patreon. So if you want to partake in that, you can head on over to patreon.com/reality times 2. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika. And today we're going to be discussing The Last Resort, episode 6. So, yeah, let's just jump into the reason we're here. Okay. So, episode 6. We left off with the comment heard around the world and the fight between Guillermo and Sarper. And Simit is trying to, because he's out there too, and he's trying to calm Sarper down. And Sarper's like, I'm sorry. I need to hug you. I need to calm down. Like, whatever. And there goes Shekinah again, saying Guillermo's name wrong by calling him fucking Geronimo. Like, what the fuck is your fucking problem, you stupid bitch? And Sarper says what she said was wrong. Absolutely. 100%. But Thais was aggressive first, which is also true. And I get the comment that Shekinah has just made is horrific. You don't say things like that. And then you're literally saying that to an immigrant, knowing like you wouldn't say that to someone who's from America. You wouldn't say it to any of the Americans. You would literally say it to someone who is not from America. That's a problem. But at the end of the day, Thais was the aggressor first. And we're just not talking about that. And I hope this is brought up in the tell all. I really do. Anyway, Shekinah says, in the heat of the moment, it just came out. No, it doesn't just come out. You don't just say, go back to your country to somebody. That's really fucking weird. She says, my husband, he's an immigrant. My child's father is an immigrant, which obviously makes her part, I think he's Latino, makes her daughter part Latina. Um, and she's like, I didn't direct that comment at all immigrants. It was just meant to be directed at her. That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it better that you were literally using a comment that you would normally not use to any other person who is American. Would you say that to Patrick? Probably not. And then Tara and Guillermo are connecting. They're connecting on how they would have fought Shekinah. And you can tell she's drunk. And she says, it was kind of hot how he went out there to confront Shekinah and how he was ready to fight a bitch. And Paola's like, just fuck already. Like, because the tension is thick. And so what does he do? You're thinking, oh, maybe he's going to take her up on that. He just kisses her on the cheek, by her lips. That's it. Oh, but then wait. He brings her close and then he starts tonguing her down. Whoa. And she gets emotional after the kiss. Like she actually starts crying. And that broke my heart a little bit because I'm like, clearly this girl is starving for affection from her husband. And instead she's getting, oh, I'm not proud of you being the mother of my child, and shaming her for her choices. Um, yeah. So Submit, he is not drunk, y'all. So he's gonna get lucky tonight because he's not drunk. So in the car ride home, isn't Guillermo just doing the God he knows when he's doing, he's playing to the camera. He's teasing Kara and the audience with his sexual moves about how, oh, you think I'm going to go here? Oh, but I'm going to go here instead. And he's just like pitting her up. And she's like, no, but no. But she's like saying it in Spanish. and I'm like, these two are going to fuck, right? Right? Well, in the room, he sits and he's talking with her. And she says, I am attracted to you. Noi. And he says, and enjoy the night. Okay. Progress. And she says, so then are you going to go home? And he says back to her, he's like, well, I don't know. Do you have something to share? This pussy. Okay. And she's like, well, I got a chair. I've got a couch, the bed. And he says, well, thank you. And he says, kissing her tonight, he leaves, by the way. He says, kissing her tonight felt good, but sleeping with her could complicate things, and I don't want to ruin the progress that we have made. And I'm just like, okay, I hear him here 100%. But then what's going to come later is going to frustrate me. Okay, we'll get to it. So with Patrick and Thais, she's saying that she's feeling a little nauseous. Like maybe she ate something bad. And he's like, oh, nauseous. Shit. And she has to go running to the bathroom and starts throwing up. I mean, maybe it could be something that she's eating. Maybe she's not used to the food there. Um, it could be that. But and drinking, you have drinking to the mix too. It could have been that. But it's just real interesting that my girl literally has to like run to the bathroom because she's about to throw up. And he goes after her and he's like, are you okay? He's like, oh, gross. Way to be supportive. Anyway, the next day, Tice is feeling better. But guess what, y'all? We're going camping? Can't think of anything worse. Interestingly, though, she kind of says, this is what I have dealt with at any place that I've dealt with or that I've worked at. People just start hating me. Well, then fuck, man, you're the problem. You're the common denominator. Hi, it's me. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Like, I don't understand how you can literally come to that conclusion of this is what always happens when I work with people, which goes to show this is why you have your own business because you can't work well with others. And you're thinking you're not even, it's not even clicking that you're the problem. Okay, right. They're trash, but okay. So yeah, I mean, so back to the camping. Did I say camping? Well, they will be doing camping, but before they do the camping, they're going to be hiking in order to camp. Fuck this. I'm with Rebecca. At one point, Rebecca's like, we're good. Our marriage, do you think our marriage is good? Our marriage is good. We can go. We, we're fine. I'm not fucking camping. Fucking camping. Too black for this shit. I'm not camping. So, anyways, she kind of apparently, out of everybody here, which is shocking, has the most experience in the outdoors because she's attended an outdoor wilderness school, aka cult. Poor thing. But she has the experience and it's gonna go good for her. Um, but yeah, I did not have Shekinah saying I have experience in the outdoors on my bingo card. Didn't have that. But anyways, so yeah, this is where Rebecca's like, Armor's good. You good? But the things they brought with them, because they did bring things with them, it basically has to fit into these backpacks that has been provided to them and essentially has to be essentials. And Patrick, what an idiot. He snuck in lingerie in her bag, I guess, which obviously is not essential. And she's like, I'm not bringing that. And he's like, what do you mean? We've never had sex outside before. That would be fun. Or like, I think he said he's never had sex outside. And he's like, that could be a fun experience. Guess what, Patrick? You don't need lingerie to have sex outside. She doesn't even need to take her clothes off for you to have sex outside in a fucking tent. You pull the pants down a little. You take your dick out. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Do I have to tell you everything? Anyway, so then they get to pick an item from like a specialty pile of things. Like each like couple gets one of these specialty items. So Sarper should kind of pick peanut butter, food essential. Jenny and Submit took bread. Guess what? They're going to be teamed together, so that works out well. Jenny, sorry, that's already. Paula is like, I'm taking the toilet. There's a goddamn toilet. So they take a toilet. There's a lighter. I think Cara took the lighter. I think someone, I don't know. I feel like there was something else, and I can't remember what it was that someone took. But they also had a vibrator and lubricant. Clearly, that was left behind. Oh, I think there's a charger that I think Sia took. And Rebecca's like, "What are we gonna do with the charger?" And he's like, or like was like a battery, like a battery, like a charging pack. And he's like, to charge our phone so we can use the flashlight. Smart. That's smart. So Russ is like, I was an Eagle Scout, so I got this. Hold on to that later. So they start the hike, and Kara shows Paula how to pee in the woods because, like, basically, like, you don't need a toilet. You can just pee in a hole. You scoop down, and then you go do your thing, and then that's that. You don't need a toilet, girl. But Paula's like, fuck that. Fuck you. I'm peeing in the goddamn toilet. um. So Jenny tells Shekinah, I know how Thais feels with about the common herd around the world because Mama Sumit has told her things like that as well. But Shekinah says, like, I only said it because, like, I didn't want that negativity around me. Well, guess what? You have it now tenfold. So how's that going for you? And she's like, go back. She's like, I was just like telling her because of like all the negativity just to go back where you came from. You're not helping your fucking self. Stop fucking talking. Like, Jesus Christ. But the issue they try to explain to her, it's like literally three against the one, is the issue is you said the fuck shit in the first place. And now you're the villain. And it's true. We're never seeing her again after this, I'm telling you. So Guillermo, he's talking about how he felt about the kiss. How he felt it in the pants and all that. And he essentially says a line that he regrets kissing her. And Kara is kind of like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Did you just say you regret kissing me? And he's like, oh, yeah, kind of. Okay, Guillermo. Okay, can we back up? Because you literally just told us a second ago that you didn't want to ruin the progress you made by sleeping with her, but that you enjoyed the kiss. So now you're going to literally say, fuck the progress and tell her you regret kissing her? What is wrong with you? If you hate her guts, if you don't want to be with her, fine, say so. Don't make her think there's hope. Like, make it make sense. And Kara, whatever, Kara literally says, I wish that he felt the kiss in his heart and not just in his pants. Yeah, well, it goes to show that he doesn't really feel anything for you in his heart. And that's sad reality, but it's something that I think she needs to come to terms with sooner rather than later. And then Sarper, Shekinah, Jenny, and Sumit are back with them again. And they're talking about the situation with Jenny and Sumit living in the parents' home. And obviously we know Jenny does not want to be there. And we kind of, just rehash the whole thing of this is normal Indian culture. They've made progress with Jenny and Sadhna, so like we don't want to ruin that. Um, and he's like, we can't go and kick my parents out. And Jenny's like, we don't have to kick your parents out. It's their fucking home. Just we can go. Again though, with what money. But yeah, so that's what she's saying. Fair enough. But he says he's got a secret. He says, I got a secret. And Jenny's not going to take it well. This could actually end a relationship. I mean, obviously, I now know what it is because we're the episodes ahead from this episode. But I'm like, huh. At the time, I'm thinking, what could it be? And it's funny, though. Once we find out exactly what it is, it's pretty obvious, actually, because we found out in the HGA tell-all that the parents weren't living there anymore. That it was just that. Now we find out why. So I don't know. But anyways, that's it for The Last Resort. Um, this episode was pretty short. I'm going to quickly tap on at the end here my thoughts on the last Below Deck episode, Below Deck Med. So for anyone who's not interested, you can tap out now. We'll see you next time. People who aren't interested and you watch the show, stick with me. We'll talk about this for about 5 minutes or so. So, Below Deck Med. We obviously, like I said in the last episode I did, which I think was last week, we kind of did all up until the point of, Nathan finding out about what Nathan and Jen did together. So in his bed. But Nathan's pretty pissed, naturally. And he, the, the part that sucks is the girls are talking about what happened and the fact that Nathan knows. And Nathan is in the bridge with Captain Sandy, and he can hear the rumblings, and it's obviously making him uncomfortable. And Captain Sandy can see the discomfort in his face, and she says, "What's going on?" And he's like, I don't think he was intending to tell her anything about Luke yet. But she's like, "No, tell me." And he tells her everything. Everything. And Captain Sandy's like, "I wish I didn't know this." Well, you asked him. But yes, she now knows. And she's like, this is the biggest thing, the biggest betrayal. This is also unprecedented. They never dealt with anything quite like this. These are all kinds of issues, disrespecting your head of department, disrespecting the property, not just fucking cleaning the fucking sheets, and also a health hazard. And it's kind of the health hazard thing, the biggest thing for her is what's really like driving her right now. So we see her texting Norma about a new light and a new decky. And she does talk to Luke, and Luke is, being told, and he's like, if I was gonna lose my job because of this, like, first of all, I have no one to blame but yourself. Um, so we got the sob story about it, how his dad left him and all of this. What does this have to do with the fact that you literally splooped in another man's bed and didn't clean the sheets for 3 days? Nothing. Anyways, um, the thing with him now is he's uncomfortable. He's uncomfortable because Nathan doesn't want to talk to him. He's uncomfortable that Joy wants nothing to do with him, although she did hug him. He's uncomfortable that Jen's just around. He's uncomfortable where he is, and he knows that he's disrupting the team. More on him in a second. Poor Cooper. Like, he's literally having a peanut reaction, and poor guy, I felt so bad for him. He's such a sweetheart, and I'm like, poor Cooper. He's fine though. He just had something that may contain peanuts, and that's it. And poor Joy is just like, I killed a ducky. He's fine. But it'll be a lesson learned. But my question is why did he have like an EpiPen on board in cases like this? And he says, like, I usually do carry EpiPens, but I guess he just didn't, and he have one on board. I don't know. Very weird. But anyways, he's fine, everybody. Um, and I guess I'll just quick. I don't think anything else happened besides that in terms of the interior. Um, I okay, these guys. Okay, that one woman who we've seen again, who saw was on last Charter 2 last year. And she's annoying. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Aisha, can you come? Please, please, please. We need to deal with this for the guys. And get on board. Can we deal with this, please? Ma'am, if you don't shut the fuck up, you're not the primary. She is. Dog mom. And Sugar Baby is just pissing all over the goddamn place. Poor Sugar Baby. Anyways, who needs our dog Sugar Baby? Did you call him Sugar? Anyway, Okay, can we please talk about the one guy though? What was his name? Billy. I think it's Billy, who calls another girl on FaceTime while he's on a charter getting to know another woman. Wow, very, very bold. And anyways, I think that kind of covers that. But my one thought before I finish up with Luke is I wish Nathan said, because the thing is that it makes it seem, well, I don't know if Nathan, I don't think Nathan names Jen by name, but it makes it seem like Luke just deliberately like ejaculated in Nathan's bed, and that's not what happened. Um, it was a poor choice, but that's not what happened. Jen was complicit in what happened as well, and Jen said she was going to wash those sheets. She never did. This is two people who are at fault for this. And I hate that Jen is getting away with her part in this. And she's the one that also spread it. Luke hasn't said shit to anybody. Jen's the one that's been spreading the information. So this is how it all got back to Nathan in the first place. So, and how everyone else in the boat fucking now knows it's because of Jen. So I don't think that Jen should be getting away with her part. And I wish Nathan said both Jen and Luke were in my bed and that's what happened. Because I think Jen needs to be reprimanded as well. And I think it's good on Luke to not mention her because it looks like he's trying to push blame on her. But I think someone needs to say it. Jen's at fault here too. It's not just him. Um, so that's my thought, and I hope that comes back on her some way, somehow. Um, and at the end of the day, it is his ejaculate, so he should be dealing with it. But at the end of the day, the ejaculate will never come out if she didn't give him a hand job. So they're both at fault. Anyways, um, so he ends up going to Captain Sandy. I guess he's made a decision that he wants to quit, and he's quitting. And that's kind of where we end. I think Captain Sandy is going to accept it. I do think one day it's going to be figured out by her that Jen was also involved. I don't think Jen will lose her job over this, but she definitely will get spoken to because her pushing herself onto him, mind you, Luke's responsible for himself, but her pushing herself onto him has created all of this in the first place. When, yes, he was showing her attention, but he was also showing another woman attention as well. And she blatantly didn't care. So I think she needs to be spoken to. But I do think Captain Sandy's going to accept his resignation. I do. Because again, this whole thing, this has never happened before, she says. Never has she ever had to deal with this kind of thing. This is completely unprecedented. How do you handle a situation like this? And you do so in a professional way. But anyways, that is that, guys. That is my thoughts on this last episode of Below Deck Med. And that is the end of this episode. So yeah, I will leave it there. But that's it for me. And that is it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, bear with me because I have not done an outro for this, for the podcast in quite some time. So bear with me here. So if you liked what you heard, you can go to any of your favorite podcast apps. You can like, follow, make sure you don't miss a single episode. And you can also rate the podcast at either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It'd be greatly appreciated. As a reminder, any 5-star ratings that are given to the podcast or any comments that are given to the podcast will be read on the podcast, which I have done in the past. If you want to connect with the podcast through social media, you can find me at Facebook and Instagram at Reality Tea times 2. You can also find me at Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Reality times 2 pod. I believe you can email me at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com, and you can have any inquiries, anything like that, any ideas, any shows or episodes you want me to cover, you can definitely do that over there. And I am going back to our old website, and that is at solo.to/reality tea times 2. There you can get any of the links to anything that I didn't mention here, any of the socials, website, email, all of that. It's all there for you. And we also have a new thing there where you can help support the podcast as well. It's called a tip jar. And you could tip whatever your heart's desire if you want to support the podcast, but don't want to necessarily support the podcast in going to Patreon, for example, or any of the links in any of the advertisements. You can do it there. But since we're on the topic of Patreon, you can head on over to patreon.com/reality tea times 2, where there you can get access to even more than what I do here. There are 3 different tiers where you can get these shows ad free, as well as our next tier up where you would get another reality show that's being covered. So, we have Jersey Shore that's been getting covered. That's still being covered currently at the time of recording of this outro, but the future is bright with what's to come in the future, which I will be discussing, or I have discussed. I don't even know. And then also our next tier is a true crime tier as well. So you can definitely head over for that. But that is basically it. I will also just quickly mention here too, if you're interested in a different take of a podcast that I'm a part of, we do things a little differently, you can head on over to Next Take Podcast, where I usually drop bonus episodes here on this feed, but there you get a lot more. And that podcast is making changes. We're growing, doing new things, but you can definitely head on over there if you want to just hear a little bit different than what I do over here. So you can find that podcast over at our website, solo.to/next take podcast. And there we'll have all the links to your desire that will link you to any of your favorite podcast apps, or YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of it. Social medias, it's all over there. But of course, you can still find that podcast at any of your favorite podcast apps. But that is it for this episode. We'll see you next time with another episode. Bye, everybody.